Am I the a-hole for skipping my sister's wedding to go to a gay club? Am I the a-hole for not telling my husband I know he's gay? A few years ago, I found his stash of gay adult content on his work laptop. My brother also found out I was gay through my stash. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to dive into the world of Reddit. Reddit is a really interesting place. Whenever I have questions, I actually go there and I type. For today's video, we're going to focus on the subreddit Am I the A-hole? People usually visit the subreddit to share their real-life problems and ask for opinions of other people on whether they're the bad person in a given situation or not. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the questions. Am I the a-hole for skipping my sister's wedding to go to a gay club? I, 23-year-old male, used to be super close with my older sister, 29 female. Growing up, I idolized her. When I came out as gay at 14, she was supportive. I feel like gay men idolizing their older sisters is like a universal experience. I was obsessed with my sister. Like, I loved gossiping with her, I loved playing with her and stealing her stuff. But everything changed when she met her now husband during her senior year of college. So they've probably been together for like almost 5 years now. That's a long time. He grew up in a very traditional Christian household. They met at a frat mixer at Bama. She was in a sorority and he was in a frat. This already screams homophobia. So for those of you who don't know what a sorority or a frat is, I'm going to give you a quick explanation. They're basically social clubs for university students with specific rules like how to act, blah blah blah. And then they would like host private parties, trips, a bunch of stuff. And I think in some cases they all live in the same house. Boys and girls separated, of course. I should mention that despite being supportive when I came out, my sister has always been neutral about politics. Now, I don't know what politics has to do with being gay, but whatever. After she met her boyfriend, that's when I noticed our relationship started to change. When I would talk about guys, my sister would get visibly uncomfortable and change the subject. One time when her fiance was on a FaceTime with us, I mentioned a Tinder date with a guy and she told him I was joking. This is crazy. She's literally hiding the fact that you're gay from the person she's going to marry. Like, what's the end game here? How long is she going to keep on lying? Eventually, he's gonna find out. We sort of grew apart as we got older. I moved to California and she decided to stay in Alabama. This explains so much. Alabama and California, it's giving church versus strip club. We still called each other, but I sort of stopped talking about my love life with her. When my sister's boyfriend proposed, I was happy for her, though I hadn't really gotten to know him super well. And they set the date for a year later. A few months after, I met my current boyfriend of 8 months. Yay! Coincidentally, I found out that my boyfriend's birthday was also the day of my sister's wedding. We talked about this in advance and decided to celebrate his birthday a different day. 3 weeks ago, I told my sister I was planning on bringing my boyfriend to her wedding. She told me earlier that I was allowed to bring a +1. She knows about my boyfriend. During the rehearsal dinner the night before the wedding, I brought my boyfriend with me. I don't know, this doesn't feel right. Like, does the husband even know you're gay? Shock and homophobia usually don't mix well. No, actually they do. They're like alcohol and fire. I personally would feel so uncomfortable. I think this is the first time ever he's meeting the fiance in person. Not only him, but his family as well. My social anxiety ass could never. Future boyfriend, I'm sorry, but you have to introduce me to your family and friends one by one before you make me meet all of them together. At dinner, I noticed my sister seemed somewhat distant. At one point, I could see her fiance looking toward my boyfriend and me and whispering, "You're going to make me and my family uncomfortable." Huh? Personally, I wouldn't let that slide. I would have stood up and told him, "The stench from your unwashed ass is making me uncomfortable." After dinner, my sister pulled me aside and told me she didn't think I should bring my boyfriend to the wedding. I asked her why and she said they were having a traditional wedding in a church and she just wanted things to be a certain way. I was pretty offended and I asked her why she had a problem with me being gay all of a sudden. She said it was fine that I was gay, but I shouldn't force it on everyone else. That was the last straw. You've already hid a huge part of yourself for the longest time from her so she wouldn't feel uncomfortable, and she still had the audacity to come and say some homophobic shit to you the first chance she got. That's why you shouldn't walk around the bush when it comes to these kind of stuff. If you guys like spot anything homophobic with your friends, like confront them right away. He should have confronted the sister the first few times she made a face. Cause why are you making a face when I'm talking about having coffee with a guy? It's not like he's telling you what he's doing in the bed. And also, you should have told her this behavior is not very Christian of you or your husband. I told my boyfriend and he was very hurt. I was also upset, so I told my boyfriend we weren't going to the wedding. We decided to go home and go out for his birthday instead. Honestly, I would say the same, because I wouldn't want my boyfriend to feel invalidated because of this situation. I felt guilty for missing my sister's wedding, and I know I'm not blameless here. We were close for so long that it hurts regardless of what she said to me. But I felt so invalidated during that rehearsal dinner, and I made a decision and I can't undo that. My sister hasn't spoken to me since the wedding. I was supposed to be a groomsman, and I texted her the morning of to tell her I wasn't coming. She didn't reply. I do think I owe her an apology, but I think she also owes me one. Is it time to cut her off for a while, or should I be the one to apologize? Am I the a-hole? Are you the bad person in the situation? Obviously not, but again, you also ditched last minute, which is pretty messed up, in my opinion. Even if you want to apologize, just give her some time and let the situation marinate a little bit in her head until she realizes what she did wrong. Because it's not okay to be homophobic. It's literally not. I don't know how some people are so outright homophobic and feel so okay about it and then like pretend like they're mans of God. It's beyond me. People these days are beyond me. I don't know. She decided to marry a homophobic man knowing goddamn well she has a gay little brother. And also, Alabama has like almost 2.3 million men. And let's say she's super picky and only 0.1% of those men are her type, not gay, and in the same city. That will leave her with 230 other men. She had those many options and she still chose this guy. I don't know, man. Do what you want with that information. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not telling my husband I know he's gay? I've known my husband is gay for several years now. At the very least, he's a gay leaning bi man. Our sex life has deteriorated consistently over the course of our marriage. And a few years ago, I found his stash of gay adult content on his work laptop. Wasn't snooping, it was an accident. My brother also found out I was gay through my stash. The thing is, I actually enjoy my marriage. My husband is kind and considerate. We have 3 beautiful kids, 9, 12, and 14. He makes a lot of money and takes care of us well, while I am a housewife and I enjoy taking care of him. So I've just kept quiet and let him keep it to himself. I don't want to bring it up in case he decides to leave or it implodes the family. I don't want my kids to have to go through that, at least until they're older. So I've just kept quiet and let my husband stay in the closet, enjoying the fantasy and his private time. Am I the a-hole? Before anything, I want you to know that you're here for a long journey and you might need to invest in a vibrator. She's both thinking about him and the children at the same time and completely putting aside the fact that she was lied to her entire marriage, and is still so worried for his mental well-being that she came to Reddit feeling guilty and asking strangers online, telling them something she probably has never told anyone before for the past 4 years. I love women. Are you the bad person? Definitely not. Sometimes tragedies like this happens. Life is complicated. I think you should make a plan. You should first ask him to help you run a business, and once your business was successful and you were doing good and have secured your finances completely, because we want you and obviously the children to be secure just in case he implodes and leaves. And maybe like go up to him and tell him stories like how your best friend's husband recently came out as gay to her and she was really supportive, and you feel so sad that LGBTQ people have to hide themselves and stuff like that. And then like maybe ask him to come to the Pride Parade with you because you want to support the LGBTQ community. Doing something like this will mark you as a safe space in his head, and after that, if he wants to come out, he will come out to you, and if he doesn't, he won't. But you would be rest assured that you did all that you could. Next question. Am I the a-hole for taking my ex-brother-in-law's side in my sister's divorce after he came out as gay? Last month, my sister announced that she and her husband, both early 30s, are getting a divorce. This came as a shock to the whole family, since from what we could tell, there were no issues. You can never tell what's going on inside people's lives, to be honest. You could have lived with them their whole lives, and you still wouldn't be able to tell what's going on. Speaking from experience. My brother-in-law is a great guy who fit into our family from the jump, and someone I, 25 male, would still consider a friend now, even though they're separating. Aww, you're not secretly in love with him, are you? He definitely is. The reason for their separation is that my brother-in-law came out as gay. Apparently, dude's been half in love with his best friend for years, and decided it was time for him to stop running from that. Who was chasing you? Why did you marry this poor girl? In a move that I didn't think was very cool, since this is something ultra personal, my sister told us that during one of their last conversations, he described their marriage as just another form of the physical ways his self-hatred would manifest, similar to actions he performed as a teenager. He said too much. He should have just left it at "I love my best friend" and then done. Why did he tell all of this? The way she said it made it sound like she expected it to make us angry, but it just made me sad. Everything she said about the ending of their relationship and her response to it makes me sad, honestly. Of course, because you're in love with him. No, just kidding. This is not an anti-sister post. I feel a lot of sympathy for her having to reroute the course of her life. But this isn't a normal divorce where someone was significantly wrong. I mean, she was significantly wrong. Being in love with someone is something that takes lots of time and effort. So you already know your sister has done so much for the relationship. And honestly, for him to come up and tell her he's been in love with his best friend for years and still ended up marrying her as a form of self-hatred is messed up. But he did the right thing. But come on, man. Just in case you were watching this, you could have worded everything better when you told her the truth. I hope you and your best friend are doing good. It seems she wants us all to board the hate former brother-in-law train, and I just can't get behind that. Every time anyone tries to reason with her, she shuts them down, so I mostly stopped engaging with the topic of divorce altogether. She's been going to a therapy support group for the last few weeks, but still saying she doesn't feel like she's getting the support she needs. After hearing this on repeat for a while, I finally asked her if the support she needs is just a space to complain about her ex being queer without feeling judged for doing so. Now, why would you say this to her? Poor girl has been through enough. Oh, I think the last thing she needs is to be accused of being a homophobe. She got visibly angry at me and told me I don't understand and I'm taking his side. Am I the a-hole? You're not the a-hole. She's probably in heavy shock from the whole situation, because I know for a fact she didn't expect her husband to be gay. Like, even if she felt like he might be cheating on her, she would have never expected the third party to be a guy. She's probably just going through so many emotions right now that she cannot process. She probably just needs some time. I think the best thing you can do for her though would be to find someone that has went through the same situation. I feel like that's what she really needs right now. As she said it herself, and I quote, "You don't understand." So find her someone that does understand. You're definitely not the a-hole. You did all you could, and just don't overthink it. Oof, I'm glad none of these were my stories, especially the first one. The moral of today's video was try to know your partner before you marry them. I'm saying this specifically for the girls. And also, please, if you're aware you are gay, do not marry women. Unless she's homophobic, of course. So choose your targets wisely. No, I'm just joking. And like always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked the video. And yeah, that's it. Love you. Bye bye.